Welcome back to another JIVij podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
And I'm Felicia.
And if you were here last week...
It was really just 1 minute ago.
Yeah. We've decided that it's probably better to batch record episodes to make it easier for
So
us.
if we're wearing the same clothes, don't you dare make a comment.
It's like, ooh, you just read this.
I know. I don't wear the same thing every time. This was 3 minutes ago. Man. But what did we talk about last time?
Last time we talked about generating ideas.
Generating ideas. And hopefully by the time this one comes out, people had responded so that next time we can talk about how other people generate ideas. But what are we going to talk about now?
This week's topic, let's talk about AI.
Ugh.
How it's affecting our creativity.
Artificial intelligence.
How it's affecting you.
So now instead of generating ideas, it's generative AI.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how you know. I know about that in Photoshop. I don't know. What's your experience with AI in the world? I mean, do they have that in music?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
I mean, I haven't like experienced it like when people like type in like chat GPT stuff, right?
Right.
So I haven't really so I haven't done anything like that. But I mean, like AI is kind of complicated because AI has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But like now it's just really like we're starting to get
popular.
into because I think when we're talking about art and AI, we're talking about like generating images or generating
and it taking over your creativity, or does it limit your creativity, or is there fear against artificial intelligence? And I think, I don't know, I don't have a lot of conversations regarding AI, but in my own thoughts or what I have heard, it's almost 50-50 because there's people who are upset that this software or this intelligence is so accessible because of all those people or all that work you've already put into learning that particular craft. Right?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Photoshop.
Yeah, like
retouching.
Yeah, it's funny because there is something that I really like about AI.
Yeah,
so
what is
like
it?
with video, when you mask stuff, like it used to be you have to keyframe every like frame. So like in video, right? Like there's usually in like cinema it's like 24 frames per second. And you know, there's like different like frames per second depending on like the type of video.
Right.
But imagine 24 frames for just 1 second. So like you have to kind of like draw it down, right? So just like mask one thing.
Just the
and then you have to do it every single frame. Because I remember when I was in college, I was taking a class and then we have to like in After Effects, we have to like keyframe every single thing.
Oh God, that sounds.
And then like imagine like 2-second video of just like, you know, like keyframing things would take you like hours.
Right.
But now there's tools where you can just like click it and then it will just like mask it for you.
Wow.
And in a way that's like it used to take you hours and hours. Now it takes seconds.
But I still feel like, so I think that's like a component of using AI
using it as the tool. Yeah.
right? The post-production.
Yes.
But what I don't think I like is when you start using it to almost create the idea for you, right? So if you're the person generating the idea, right? I feel like 90% of that idea or what's put out there should be yours. I mean, that's just a number. But I think for me, I get really frustrated. So I'm going to talk about Photoshop. So Photoshop was always scary for me. Absolutely scary. And I never thought I would ever learn it until I started doing photography. And I actually invested in a lot of courses and I did a one-on-one session with somebody who's really good at retouching, to actually learn like the art of retouching. And for me, I found it to be very therapeutic, honestly. And so that's why I sometimes take so long in a photo because
you like
it's
doing
almost
it.
like you're painting, right? I mean, and granted, I guess Photoshop already is like an AI because it's giving you the tools that you need to do something.
Yeah.
But now there's tools like neural filters, I think it's called, or even certain presets for portraits and having clear skin. It's like in a matter of a click of a button, and I don't use it, so I don't know how well it works or if it doesn't work. But it frustrates me sometimes to know that I really do put in all that work, but then there's a high population of people who are completely comfortable just AI, and that's fine, I think. I mean, it's fine. I can't control how other people do things in their art, but I just feel like it also makes it a lot more competitive, and I feel like you can't really compete with that because their pacing, like their output, can be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just, I truly find that part of photography, like the post-production, to be another art form in itself. So the fact that the computer can just do it for you is like, man, doesn't that take the fun out for you?
It depends.
Yeah.
Because if the work is tedious, then it's not fun, right? Like, I mean,
that's
like,
where I see, and that's where I think.
And then
it's
that's the
fun.
thing is like, because you like retouching, it's fun for you, but for other people, like, they probably hate that shit.
I know. Oh, I mean, but sometimes people will outsource, right? So that's the other thing. It's like the need for those specific skill set.
Yeah, like it's
that.
definitely.
I think that becomes harmful. You know what I mean?
Because like everybody's like mentioning it, right? Like, oh, AI is gonna take your job.
Yeah.
The machines have been taking our jobs for the longest time.
Taking your job,
because there is definitely like I guess when you think about the morality of things, right? Like, what's the right way to do things? Like, are you just gonna? Because like you could easily just, like put a code in and be like, oh, I want this. I want to make a song about this, and then write it for me, and then AI is gonna make that for you. And like, there's already stuff like that. And then there's also voice changers too, where I would like, let's say I would sing, right? And then I want to change my voice into like a girl voice,
right?
And make like a fake girl artist,
right?
Like you could do that. Like you just like basically like put an audio file and then it will convert it to like a different voice, and you can have it a different voice. Like what? There's so many different types,
right?
And it's crazy. Like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to give the advice, and I don't even want to give myself this advice to not say don't use AI if you're a creative. I definitely think
use it as a tool.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I think it's definitely something just like social media that you have to follow the times, right? Or else you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
But don't let it become your default or your crutch, right? Because if you're struggling with something in that particular craft, right, and you're always relying on this system to do it for you, I think that prevents an opportunity for you to grow, right? Because now you don't have to learn it. So it's like, well, why do I gotta learn it? They can do that. And I think there's still value in actually learning something and going through the process of, starting on the ground level and then kind of working your way up.
For sure.
And I feel like sometimes AI takes that away. Because you're right, I've done AI stuff for some photos. When I went to ColourPop, we had a whole class on generative AI.
And I wonder if we have, because we're a little bit older and we have a different perspective, because we've experienced the world without a lot of AI, right? So like we had to do the
The hard work.
The hard work, basically.
Like the plagiar, like, you know, you had to write your own paper.
Exactly. We had to write 10-page paper, and now everybody can just like type Chat GPT, and Chat GPT will do it for you.
I know, but then it's like, again.
So if we grew up in this era, like, I wonder what
like if our perspective would be different.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know, and I do believe there's a large population that use AI for education and they get through it. I mean, I don't know how, because I actually saw something yesterday and it was like a teacher TikTok, and it was saying that, you know, I put words in, or I put the prompts of the paper. Some of the prompts are in like white ink or something. So if you were to scan the prompt in to Chat GPT or whatever system that you're using, it'll pick up all those hidden words.
Yeah.
So when you start writing the paper, it's like, well, how did you know to write about that? Because you don't see it. It's hidden in the paper somewhere. I don't know. You know, it's kind of like that plagiarism thing. It's like, don't copy and paste. You know, don't even try to paraphrase, and then you have to put it through that checker, and it's like, it's only 90%.
Yeah.
You know?
It's such a weird time too, because.
But are you really learning? You know, I think that's like my question. If you're.
But then let me ask you this. You have your phone.
Yeah.
You technically don't have to. Because before phones, before we had like smartphones, right? We actually had to like learn certain facts.
Yeah, from a book.
Yeah, from a book.
Right.
But now you can Google anything.
Yeah, you can just be on your phone.
You can, let's say if you do math, you have a calculator on your phone. You never have to like write things down. So it's like, it's kind of like, that was kind of like the early age of, you know, AI stuff, right? So it's like now like the tool has become so advanced.
Right.
That like, at the end of the day, like, what's the morality? Like, what's the right thing?
I know.
Like, what's the right balance?
What's right? What's wrong? I don't know. That's a little bit scary.
Because I definitely don't want to, because I feel like that's such cheat code. If I just type like, "Oh, make this song for me," and like, that sounds so lame.
What?
Just like, let's say if I like type, you know, like do a prompt, right? Like, I'll make this song with this certain beat or whatever,
right.
and then it will make it for me, and then I don't get to do anything. You know, like I don't get to write the song. Like it's exactly. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't want to use AI for that. Like I don't want to just do it all for my, you know, to do all the work for me, like without like any of my creative input. But there are so many things that, like, for example, the magnetic mask that I was telling you about, where I could just like mask out. Like, let's say if I'm shooting a video, right? I'm standing here and then I'm moving around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to like click every single frame of the thing. I could just like click a button and then it would get rid of all the backgrounds around me. And it's because like for me, like that's not the fun. Like that's not the fun work of me clicking every single frame of my body. The fun is me getting rid of the background and like doing something with the background. Right. So if I have a tool that can just like do that for me, and then now it's saved me so many hours. Right. Okay. So like for you, the fun is retouching. Right. So you wouldn't want to use AI for that. Yeah. But I'm sure you use.
I do use it for. I guess I do use. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There's some things that I do use it for. Mainly in, you know, like extending the background or something. I'm like, I don't want to freaking do the normal process. I mean, you can, because there's always been fill or content aware. In the beginning, though, when it was like the beta version for generative fill, I hated it because everything looks so pixelated. Like you can clearly tell the difference. And even till this day, if I use it to, you know, copy the background or extend something, I could see the color variation, so I still have to go back in and like clean it up, you know, so that way it's not as obvious. But you're right, it does save a ton of time. And I think there are some really cool aspects to, I guess, using it as a resource. So exactly. Like a tool, you know, like that's not all of you as an artist. Although there are people, I even think there's somebody locally that does it, where you're literally just putting in your idea and it'll create the picture for you.
Yeah, then that's kind of lame.
But what is that? Because then you have to think about, but I guess is that a form of art or is it not? Because yes, you have the idea, but it wasn't you that executed it.
Yeah.
You see, that's tricky.
Because like right now too, there's a bunch of like AI videos on YouTube. And then YouTube's actually been kind of like fighting that because like you actually have to declare that you're using AI in your video. Otherwise, you're going to get like flagged or something like that.
Interesting.
Because like people have been, making fake videos of. Have you ever heard of like those like where you hear like audio of like celebrities talking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like it's not even them.
Yeah.
It's because like AI has made it so well that it's like, how would this person say this? Or you're like, how would this person like? Because you can ask.
That's when it gets scary.
Because you can ask AI, let's say like, oh, what does like Steve Harvey think of this? And then it would just like have his voice, and then he would say like let's say if I'm asking for advice, right? And then he would give me an advice on his voice, but it's not really him. It's like AI kind of generated.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's like crossing the line.
Yeah.
And I feel like that goes beyond like the whole idea of creativity, because now that's like invading privacy. Like you're taking somebody's identity.
Exactly.
And altering it and using it for your own benefit. And I do see that on TikTok too, because TikTok on TikTok too, because you'll see, especially when it comes to health and medicine, is they'll like replicate their face somehow, and they're saying all these other things, but then it's like, no, that's not what they said. Like this is the original.
Yeah.
But now you're just using their fame or their credentials to now sell something that you're trying to sell and profit off of.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary?
And I think it's because it's such a new thing that like people will fall for it, right? Because it's such like it's so new that people are just like not used to it.
Yeah.
But I think the more it gets there, but then it might get better too. But like, you know what I mean? Like people would probably, because I can already tell when it's like AI because it doesn't have that like human like touch to it. Like it's weird because like when I search for like motivation videos, right? Because I listen to those in the mornings, and I would hear one, and then the reason why Steve Harvey came up because like I saw video, so I clicked on it, and then it sounded like him, but then I was like, nah, like his tone is like not the same, or his like I guess like the fluctuation with your voice,
right?
You know how we talk. Like we just don't talk like, oh, I'm just like this, like, but like it felt like that, but it sounded like his voice. So I was like, oh, I don't think this is him.
See,
yeah,
and I'm gullible. Like I fall. There's many times where I'll see something on Instagram or on TikTok, and then I send it to Anthony, and he'll be like, "That's not real," and I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Like what?
He's like, "No, that's not real." I can't even think of it. Like usually something that happens with an artist or, you know, I don't know. But now whenever I send him something, I'm so conscious of it that I'm like, do you think that's real? Is that true? Did that really happen? Because now you don't know. Now you're confused. It's hard to, especially when you don't follow certain things in the news or anything that's political or pop culture. Like if you're not following it, I mean, but who's to say any of that's real anyways? I don't know.
I mean, anything can be faked, right?
Everything is fake.
Yeah, everything is fake.
Lord, my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it's only gonna get better,
right,
from here. So like, the difference between human and AI is gonna get like I guess it's gonna get closer and closer the longer it goes on. But then
we're gonna be useless.
But then it's like, I wonder if like our human kind of side will resist it in a way, like because we hear all these like cookie cutter, let's say like they release a bunch of like AI music,
Right.
and then it's all just sounding the same. I think we're gonna start to look for something that's a little
Like
bit more
that's
real,
different or more genuine.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because I feel like it's almost like when you think about communication and you're communicating over an email or over a text, right? It's hard to get an emotion from it because you're just reading it. You just, so I think I can compare that with AI, where if you're asking it to generate something, does this intelligence have emotion that can be put into this music or this song or this phrase, before it becomes so repetitive and you're like, well, this is boring.
Like, they have like the machine to like analyze like, oh, the good things about music, like the drops or like certain sounds, but then it doesn't have the, like you said, it doesn't have the emotion.
Right.
I think that's the thing with AI, like it just doesn't have that. And maybe they haven't cracked it yet, like who knows?
Lordy.
Maybe. Have you ever seen those videos where like they have robots where like they training it to do things?
No, like the ones that look like people or that look like dogs?
I mean, they just kind of look like dogs, like kind of still look like robots.
Yeah, they look like,
But like I've seen a video that this was probably, I'm pretty sure it was fake, but like they kept like pushing it. Like so the robot dog, I mean, like the robot was like trying to like carry this like box, right?
I think I saw that.
And then they kept pushing it and like kind of like trying to instigate, like
right,
like trying to piss it off, basically. And like if it was funny because I was watching it and then I was like, I felt kind of bad. I was like, is this like,
this is bullying?
Yeah, it's like, is this robot gonna like do anything? Because like it just kept falling and then like trying to stand and trying to like keep going, right? And then they just kept pushing it. This part was probably fake. Like the robot just like put the box down and just like start punching the or like start attacking the people that were like.
Really? See, I didn't see that part, but
I'm pretty sure that was fake. But then
I did see the part though. I did see a clip where it almost like got frustrated and it stopped what it was doing.
Yeah.
Like so, whatever it was programmed to do, it stopped because it was getting interrupted.
So like, I wonder if it gets to that point where
it's like, I am robot.
Exactly. So like,
can you imagine though? I mean, now we're getting off the topic of creativity. I guess AI in itself is still creativity.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? I can't imagine having a robot in the house. Like, isn't that just weird? Like a human size robot that can talk and do things, like do your chores.
But in my head, I'm just like, man, if somebody's gonna clean my house, do all that stuff, like
I don't trust it.
It sounds kind of nice, but then it's also like I've seen enough movies to.
You don't know their intentions. You're gonna go to sleep one day and you're not gonna wake up because you wanted a damn robot in your house. Jesus, AI. I don't know. I definitely think it has its pros and cons. I do appreciate a lot of the time that it does cut out of certain tasks.
Yeah.
But it almost is, again, like it's a little bit frustrating that it's just so accessible because now, not that I want to say that people who use it all the time aren't talented, but it's like the bar is different.
Yeah.
Right? Because
now that everybody can do that thing.
It's like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
But you know what? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But I have been, because there are some people that have beautiful photos and they, are very honest and transparent about their use of AI. And you could tell, but it's still a beautiful photo. I think it's mixed. Like they take
what are
the
they
photo,
using the AI for?
I think just to almost like make the photo more like art, like paint like art, or
okay.
you can tell that it's generated by something other than just a regular photograph. But sometimes I've used that, like other people's generated creative works, and have used that to be like, can I do that myself? Like with a real person and my own lighting and just doing my normal like retouching stuff, right? And not using the actual newest technology of AI or generating anything. And that's where that one photo came of with the headdress, is because the inspo that she had was from a person who is an AI artist. And I was like, ooh, like challenge accepted. Like, can I
recreate it?
How can I recreate that? And I don't know. I've liked it for that, because some people are really good at it, and that's totally fine. That's why I'm saying it. I guess it's a new art form. It's like a new
because maybe the new art form
genre.
is like writing the prompts.
Yeah.
Like coming up with the prompts. Like
that's you have to come up with. I mean, you have to be pretty detailed. Right?
Yeah, because like that's kind of like coming up with the idea, right? Even though like you're basically telling somebody to do the work for you. Yeah. Like you're becoming the art director.
Yeah.
Because you're prompting like, oh, I want specific things. Mm-hmm. So that's becoming like you're still, maybe that's the argument. You're still generating the idea.
Right. It's still your
without
idea.
Doing the groundwork.
The labor.
The groundwork, basically.
You want the easy way out, huh? Or the easy way up, I guess.
Because like I think I prefer like mixing both the things.
Yeah.
Because like I love the idea of
being more efficient.
Yeah.
It's like
just efficiency.
It's like you're using it, but you're not abusing it.
Yeah. Trying to justify. Because it's like otherwise I would be clicking on it like it's not really, I know. Then
and
at the same time it's like is that really art? Like me clicking on that shit, like, you know what I mean? Like it's
everyone's own opinion. And people are going to use it regardless. I just hope when my son goes to school, if I ever find out he uses ChatGPT for exam paper, I'll be pissed.
He's going to use ChatGPT.
No, you will not. You will use your own brain.
He's going to use ChatGPT to write his paper. I'm guilty of
using ChatGPT. I use it for work sometimes because, bruh. Like,
you can't be a hypocrite.
How do you come up with all for education? I can. But when your brain is like, you know.
Maybe they just have a different type of brain.
Bruh.
Like, they're so, because, like, they're born having a smartphone.
Yeah, I know. He was born swiping an iPhone.
Like, have you seen those like babies? They already know how to use like phones.
No, I know. That's how my son was. Yeah. And that's literally how my niece is right now.
It's so intuitive that they just like figured it out. Like without even, nobody taught them how to do that. They just like click things. Like, oh, this shit works. Like that.
That's
like
so crazy.
Like we had to kind of like learn it, right? Like it's in a way. Like, I mean, even though it was kind of easy, but like we still had to before when he just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Flip phones.
I just hope that there's still going to be a large population of people that truly want art from a person.
I think there is.
You know what I mean? And not have that die down, because then that's also going to that's going to be a sad story for a lot of people who do love what they do and are now not given the opportunity to, because a prompt can generate it for somebody much cheaper. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just hope that, again, that there's just enough people in the world that will want that genuine, emotional, you know, the things that you won't get from a computer, essentially.
Yeah. And I think the more we are immersed in like this AI stuff, I think people are going to crave something different.
Yeah.
I just know it because
I really am curious to know what it's going to look like in 10 years.
Like 10 years from now?
I mean, who knows? Insane. Probably the 10 years is already created now. They're just waiting to put it out.
Yeah, honestly, like
5 years
all the technology is like usually in the process, like years ahead. So like they already know what 10 years is going to look like. Mm-hmm. Because imagine like the Apple Vision Pro.
Oh yeah, where you wear like the
VR stuff. Mm-hmm. Before it was like very gimmicky, right? Like, oh, like you can be in a roller coaster and like, you know, pretend
now it's
that you're there.
Tony Stark. You got like the
exactly.
Swipe
like
in the middle of the air.
You have a computer in your
That's
head,
cool.
But then have you heard of the chip that they're gonna start putting in your head?
No. What the hell is that?
Basically, putting computer in your head, like AI stuff. Instead of having a phone, just having that.
People have been saying that like for years now, like putting something in you, or
it's coming.
You're gonna put something in your head.
Neuralink. I don't know if I want to, but who knows? Like,
don't be lazy. Like, just
like
use your brain. We haven't even tapped into the capacity of our entire brain.
We're already a cyborg because we can't be away from our phones ever. You're already kind of a computer that is like attached to your body. It's just not inside your body.
Oh God, and now it's gonna be inside your body.
Yeah.
Might as well swallow your phone. Jesus.
Pretty much. Like, imagine just having that. They're already working on it. I think it's like Neuralink. I think that's what it is. I mean, I know that's kind of like the freaking internet or whatever.
Isn't your body going to reject it, though? That's like the those dermal piercings, where like you put like the piercing in random spots. And sometimes they're like not successful because your body will reject it. Like it's a foreign object. So.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean,
that would suck. Like if you're probably going to spend a lot of money for it to reject out of your body.
But
then what?
If it's like AI has already been kind of for the last, like, I would say, like, what, 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like, been kind of a thing. Imagine freaking, maybe not 10 years, but like 25 years. Like, we never imagined our phone to be this.
Yeah.
We thought it was just like, oh, it was attached to our house.
See, that's us. It wasn't us. We didn't have to. We didn't generate the idea.
Yeah.
Somebody else generated the idea.
Yeah.
Who generated AI? Who was that? Who's the person? The culprit? Who do I gotta talk to? I probably don't want to talk to them.
Yeah. It's like, it's hard to stop. Like, once it's already started.
I guess it's like, use it with caution.
Yeah.
You know, don't let it take over your life.
Yeah.
Although there's many things that have taken over our lives.
Like, going back to creating it as like using it as a creative tool, though,
I think it can be very beneficial.
Yeah.
But I think, again, you just have to stay true to who you are as an artist. And if AI is your route, then that's that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you're just going to have to go into it. And then the people who don't want to use it, then, you know, I feel like you shouldn't be forced into using it, because I feel like sometimes people are like that. Even with social media, it's like, well, but you have to do this for your business and yada, yada. And it's like, stop trying to drive these ideas or certain things just because the mass follows, right? And because I think that just takes away from your individuality. But I can't deny I've used in Photoshop generative AI, like I said, and I took a course on it. You know, like somebody from Adobe taught us how to use the prompts and stuff. But even sometimes I'll use it and I'm like, that.
Like, how good is it?
It's a hit or miss, because if you're doing anything that's truly trying to generate, like, I don't know, like adding on to like a facial structure, or you're trying to generate a hand. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it looks like a hand and sometimes it looks like a damn monster. You know, it's like, what in the right mind were you trying to put like that?
So what, like when it comes out like that, do you just like reprompt it?
Oh, no, I'm done. I'm like, I'm going to do this the hard way. Because sometimes it's scary. It's like distorted. And I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why did this put a human face on a flower that looks like, you know, it's coming from your nightmares?
Yeah.
That's not what I asked. Generative AI. It's not what I wanted.
They're revolting already. They're plotting something.
This is what you want. No, but again, it does streamline certain aspects.
Yeah.
And I think I'll refuse to use it in the way where, like, you know, where it starts touching up your skin or doing all that other stuff. I just don't want to do it. I like the process of that, but that's me. And I don't know. I think it would be interesting just to see, I guess, how involved, you know, how much more involved it can be when it comes to creativity. Like, what does that collaboration look like in the future? Because now, like, between you and I, we're using it as a collaborative tool, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're the people driving, but every now and then we have somebody, you know, take over and
because like
press the gas pedal a little bit.
If you think about it, this is only kind of like the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, once it gets better and better, like, are we gonna be more inclined to do that instead of what the other, like, it's
I don't know what it's gonna look like. I guess take what you need from it and
Yeah. I mean,
do away with the rest. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't live on AI, and that's only a component of AI, right? There's AI and other things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just talking about it from
Creative
a
standpoint.
creative standpoint, using it in Photoshop. Like, I don't know all the other platforms that use AI and what that's like, other than ChatGPT.
Yeah, I've actually never used ChatGPT before. But I know.
It's interesting because it's even gotten to the point now where you can like upload photos and stuff, and it'll give you like a breakdown of how you should do the lighting or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like it will kind of like do a feedback for you?
It will do feedback, and it'll even break it down to like the aperture or your ISO.
Really?
And
That's
I
interesting.
tried it, and I did not like it because, again, like when I'm in the studio, it's almost like, it's just that freedom, right? Like I may have an idea of what I want to do, but I find it much more satisfying trying to create it on my own.
Yeah.
And like when I have to read it and it's like, okay, so I do this and I do that, I'm like, that's too much work for me.
You know what's interesting though is
I just do it
because
myself.
have you ever seen those like what I don't know what site it is, but they basically like generate images, right? Mm-hmm. That are very like vibrant and like super like I guess like in my mind just like very fantasy.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. And I like it, but it's like AI generated.
Right.
So it's like, why do I like this so much?
But I guess it's like creating like if you're looking at a cartoon or
yeah, like if you like if somebody drew it or somebody had like it was a AI generated,
right?
Like, is there a difference? It's like,
well, I think the difference is, especially if it's of the same quality or skill level, that it's much more impressive for it to come from a human being.
Yeah, that's true. That is
you know what I mean? So I think that's the difference. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, you're going to like what you're going to like, because if it's going to produce something that attracts you, you're going to be attracted.
That's
regardless of where it came from.
Exactly.
But again, I think it does just go back to like the morals, like the moral of, being a true creative, whatever that is. And I think that's changed. I think that's changed, multiple times. And I'm sure the people that are generations ahead of us are probably thinking the same thing about us.
Yeah.
Like, like when it comes to photography and how we go about things.
Yeah, because my mom asked me about AI too. And she was like, she doesn't understand it. I'm like, I don't barely understand it either.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if I want. I mean, I know what I know because of it's like put in my face.
Yeah. But then now you can watch your son. How is he going to interact with it?
I know. Yeah. He's too young. He's too young to, I think, actually know what it is or explore that yet. But I am very curious to see how that impacts him when he gets older.
It's probably going to be one of those things that is kind of like similar from like a baby, like learning the iPhone or iPad. Like for him, it's probably going to be very intuitive on like doing like AI stuff.
Well, look, if you use AI, son, do not get caught.
You have to be better than the AI.
That's when I will get pissed off. God.
Be better
Use
to
your
not
brain.
get caught.
God damn it.
He's using his brain to not get caught.
No. Wrong. No computers in the house. I think we'd all cry.
You're going to cry. But like,
I
fuck
know.
this.
Stop it. How can I make my TikToks? I've been on TikTok for like 2 days and I already think I'm like an influencer. Thank you for the 10 viewers. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. But anyways, please comment down below. What do you think of AI? Do you like it? Do you not?
Do you love it? Do you use it? Is it stupid? Is it the best thing ever?
Or if you have anything interesting about AI, like comment down below.
Or like what are their platforms? Because again, I only know of generative AI and Photoshop.
Yeah.
And
like I just know those stuff.
I
like,
don't know anything else.
Like the music stuff, like the voice changers, and like it's very interesting. But doesn't matter if you like it or not, it's here. So
it's here. And you're either gonna lose it or use it or abuse it.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. AI.
Anyways, yeah, that's it for today's episode. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.